No,
Oh, I think
no.
I know what happened.
We still have the other one. No, it was when, oh, I'll look back. No, no. Fridays, I worked at this other office on Tuesdays and Fridays. And
Okay.
then I worked at the dental school on Mondays. And then when I was actually I'll probably edit this out, but I was an associate and I wasn't collecting a paycheck and we were doing internal financing where I wasn't collecting a paycheck because whatever money I was producing was going in towards purchasing the practice because at that time banks weren't really giving loans. So I didn't really have the money to buy an office because we don't have money when we're first like starting out, you know. So I was working at that office. That ended up not working out. Just something for you when you start looking into like buying an office and stuff. As
Right.
much as it's important to make sure that the profit and loss statements make sense, that you like the team, that you know you're doing whatever procedures you're good at doing. Because what if the office is doing all these? What did you say you don't like doing? Rhinoplasties. What if they're doing a ton of rhinoplasties and that's not what you want to do? Then it doesn't make
Right.
sense for you to buy into that office. But as much as the business side needs to make sense, their personal life also has to be somewhat together.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
so I've seen it a few times where people's personal life is a mess and then it bleeds into the business. And I used to have the mindset of like, I don't care what you do in your private life, just don't bring it into the office. But as much as you try to separate everything, you can't.
Oh,
So yeah, I was working at another office that ended up not working out. And then that's when I was just like, I'm done. I'm done looking into offices. I'm done like trying to do all these things. Like
mm.
it's just not gonna make sense. But yeah, but the other office was Fridays and Tuesdays. And then as soon as I had enough money, then I was just like, all right, I'm out. You guys can either refer to me or bring in another Perio. But
You still have the hangout on Fridays? Pizza parlor
oh,
Fridays, girl?
with Winta, we haven't seen each other in a long time. I know she's still a good friend. Last time I saw her was for her son's birthday party, and then I saw a bunch of the gals there, and then my husband just felt like I can't believe I thought all these people were like imaginary, and now at that time he was working with them because he was working at UCSD.
Oh,
So
so he knew them, and but he knew all of them.
he knew them, but because now he was doing their anesthesia cases, right? And so it's all these like female surgeons, and he's just like embarrassed because he thought I was not lying. I don't know what he was thinking.
I think that's awesome, but I mean that sounds pretty badass. She's a surgical oncologist, and then the other one, what was she?
Vascular,
Vascular surgeons, you know, all
vascular,
this extra training, and you. I mean, also, I
vascular.
mean, surgical oncologists and the vascular, they're like 35 before they even start working on their own. That's oh,
Yeah, in a
I could never do
group,
that.
and I'm like, wow, like super, super, like, yeah. I'm like, I work on papillas.
You said before the papilla doctor. I like
I'm the
that.
papilla doctor. Hi, nice to meet everybody. I know you, yeah. I'm like, like I never know like what to because I just started too. But yeah, that I did want to ask, how did you find the time to podcast when you were doing residency? Because your residency is completely different than mine. Yours is, and I know you're like on the go, on the crosswalk. You're like, hey guys, like I'm doing this. So I think you just like get in the content when you can, but
Yeah.
it's a lot of time and it's really time consuming. And even like we use the same app for podcasting. I use some other different apps, but even this app, it took me a long time to figure it out. I think it's good when you have two people, but when it's solo, it can get a little bit tricky. And some
Yeah.
of the AI functions, like if you delete too much, it has to be pretty organic because then otherwise, like you're rambling on and then the audio is trailing behind and stuff. So it can you kind of have to leave it like really organic. But it was a big skill for me to learn, and then you did it during one of the most stressful and strenuous times in your life.
It's I don't know. I was never really good with technology, but with all the AI that the Riverside podcast studio it really helped. I mean, in that
Hmm.
sidebar after when you click edit, you know, when it's done, I
Hmm.
guess organizing, you click edit, and then in the sidebar, the studio tools where you could edit out the ums, the ahs, you could
Right.
shorten it, you could get out all the silences. So I just click those, and then that's another thing. I hit refresh after that because I feel like it's just
Hmm.
got to recalibrate.
I
Um,
know.
and then I just send it out after that. I take the transcripts, I plug it into ChatGPT. I ask for
Yeah.
what were all the questions asked, what were the quotes of inspiration, and it spits all that out. I ask it like, what were the top five, I guess, most engaging topics to the general public, uh, and then I just copy and paste that into a file. The file becomes the caption, and I get down. It used to take an hour and a half years ago in like first year and maybe
Per
last year down
episode?
for before like AI was here and this to like edit it
Oh,
out. But now I get it down to like 30, 45 minutes. So the podcast will
yeah,
be
yeah,
however long and then 30, 45 minutes, I could have it all posted and
yeah,
move on. You got to get things down to a quick routine, you know?
for sure. Yeah, for sure. And then I see you have a little salt lamp in the back. Are you like a little woo-woo or no?
Actually, this was we had a Secret Santa in dental school and one of the my
Oh,
classmates who actually went ortho, this guy
yeah.
Hamad, he got me a little salt lamp and it's still kicking.
Helps you relax and decompress
Yeah, very, very zen.
with the ions.
Yeah, look at all the ions I'm getting right now. I don't know. I like the way it looks. It's a little bright right now. I can see on the screen, but it's actually really dim in person. And I don't know.
Uh-huh.
I like a nice little setup, a little feng shui.
Yeah, you do have a good little setup. What was I
I
gonna say?
have, if we could go on a little side topic, I don't know if you
Yeah.
like. I think I have 17, 18 plants in my apartment. My little
What?
tiny. I got a lot of. I don't know. You're a
Can
plant person.
you?
Look at your background. No,
That's not real.
you're not watering that wall.
It's not, no, no, but I will tell you, my friend that's a podiatrist, he's my patient too. He has one at home, but he put little like flowers and stuff in it and like zhuzhed it
Oh,
up a
that's
bit.
cute.
But on the Ring camera, you can see people coming in
Yeah.
and out. His sister-in-law came and she's looking at the wall and she sees the flowers and she goes, just try to smell them.
Oh, right. Smell on the plastic.
So we always joke about that.
That's a good one.
What kind of plants do you have in New
I
York?
one, two, three. I have three peace lilies. So I don't know if you're familiar
Oh,
with like the top three. What do they say? Like air filtering plants. It's number one. I think is like the either
mother-in-law.
or the spider plant.
The
And
mother-in-law tongue or whatever I thought. No?
oh,
The long
really?
one? I thought that one.
The mother-in-law. Oh, I don't know. I haven't heard of that one.
Snake plant.
Yeah. Well, snake plants, spider plants, and then the peace lily. And so I got. I don't know. It looks like 6 or 7 of those, and then I have
Uh-huh.
like the palms. I have 3 palms. I have I have 3 or 4 coffee plants. Hopefully one day they grow beans and I could
Coffee?
yeah, like
Huh.
like a plant that it says like 4 or 5 years it'll grow the coffee beans. So I'm waiting patiently.
For coffee beans.
And then I learned how
Huh.
to like clone plants. So I
Yeah.
figured out there was this really beautiful plant. It had thorns on the stems all over, but it grew the beautiful. I wish I could show you. It's all over. These beautiful pink flowers on it, and it
Uh-huh.
was in one of the medical resident, general like internal medicine resident rooms when I was on their service for a month. So I
You
clipped the
stole it.
stem from the bottom and I brought it home and I planted and it's alive. It's been growing for 2.5 years.
You stole
Wow.
one of the plants.
Yeah. Oh, I stole that plant. I confiscated it.
But you're like, it wasn't doing well, so
It was thriving. It's not. It needs some more water. I don't know. But I got to vent. I got to vent about something really quickly. So I
yeah.
move out of this apartment on the 14th, and I told them I'm gonna be moving out this year for a month. Now they literally text me every day. Hey, can I view the apartment? Can I show your apartment to people tomorrow? Hey, can you send me a video
Wow.
of your apartment? Literally every day I'm getting text messages and emails. Look, stop bugging me. Like I'm living
Yeah.
here right now. And now
Yeah.
I'm wondering, I've been fending them off. I've just kind of been ignoring it. I'm saying, can I get the security deposit early? I've been trying all these tactics, but now they keep going and going. Do you have something against showing your apartment while you're still living there? Like, what do I do? Do I just show it to them once, but then it's going to be like every day they expect a showing? Or do I
I
just be like, oh,
know.
just wait?
Yeah, no, I would be like, no, like no, that we did it
My
once
job
and
to help you sign the next person. Look, I'm not trying to be
yeah,
resistant, but also like, I have my personal belongings in here and I was working the last 2 months. I couldn't do it. I can
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Maybe I'll show it to them, but they've been so annoying. Maybe they'll get worse. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I have no tolerance for people in my personal space. That includes the office. No offense to like reps or anything like that. And my team knows like I have really good relationships with certain reps. Other than that, I hate door to door. Like don't show up unannounced. Don't like I like everything planned.
Mm,
Like
mm.
oh no, you're not wrong at all. Like no, it's your space and you still have the lease. Like
What?
Oh, I'm so short-tempered when it comes to stuff like that. I'm like, no, absolutely no.
And it's been a month. Like
Yeah.
you got to be.
Yeah. Do you have pets?
I don't know. I don't have any pet. I wish I had a dog. Do you have pets?
Oh, yeah, I have a little munchkin cat. So she's like a rug hugger. So you know like the dachshund dogs that have the little legs?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so she has really short legs
yeah.
and she's like low to the ground. She's pretty small.
That's really
But she
cute.
has a flat face, like a little munchkin, like flat face, like a Persian face.
Yeah.
But I like the only other thing when people are like, oh, would you have gone into medicine or why, like, blah, blah, blah,
Mm,
aren't teeth gross? The only other thing I would have ever done is veterinary medicine, but shout out to
mm.
them. I could never
No
emotionally
way.
cope or deal. Yeah. So I like animals a lot. And I had a dog, and then he passed away during dental school, and I was so devastated. So I was like lonely, but I don't have time to walk a pet or like take,
Mm,
like it's so much time. So I was like, I'll get a cat. They're independent. They just kind of, it's like a roommate or something. So I got
yeah.
Pearl, my cat, my D2 year after, at that time, boards were part one and part two. I think now it's like
Oh,
one,
yeah, I took
maybe.
one
Yeah.
and two. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I got her after part one as a gift to myself before I even passed. But I was like, like what are the odds I'm gonna fail? And so I got Pearl. And then oh, she's such a handful. Like she's on a routine and she has a schedule and she talks to you and she has like she just she's a big personality kind of cat. And so that's always my excuse. I'm like, my cat will literally attack you and try to kill you if you come into the house. Like there's no way. So yeah, since you don't have the lease of the pet, then that's, like
She'll
what can
come at
you
you
do?
with those little paws. Those little paws.
Yeah, she tried to disembowel one of her nannies. One of our friends who's an anesthesiologist in my husband's group, she loves cats, and so like if we go out of town, we need someone to feed her because first
Mm.
dinner is at 6, and so she needs to have dinner at 6, and like she's where are you? And so everybody just loves her because they think she's so cute, and she's a psychopath. She's literally gonna try to kill you. She's sweet to us, but not
Mm.
to anybody else. But our friend who her cat had just passed, so she was more than willing to like keep an eye on Pearl, sat on Pearl's blanket, which happened to be on the couch at that time. And because sat on the blanket, Pearl looked at it, she goes, ah! And she just like lunged at her.
Oh man. And
Yeah.
Sue, you said
She's
you.
vocal. She'll talk to you she'll talk back to you like go it's a whole conversation. She's very interesting. She's
Oh
my
man.
first cat. I know. When I met my husband, he's like, I'm allergic to cats. And I was like, well, there goes this dude. Whatever. He was a med student at the time, so I was like, well, whatever. And
How
then,
do you get along between
huh?
Pearl and your husband?
It was interesting. So he's allergic, and then he's allergic. My grandpa, it was my first year in residency. My grandpa passed, and I
Mm.
had just met my husband at the time, and I was like, "Hey, can you just feed her?" Because at the time she wasn't as psychotic as she is now, and I was like, "Just pop in. She's a grazer. She eats whenever." And so he popped in, and next thing I know, he sends me a photo, and they're cuddling and just
No
loving on each
way.
other. Yeah. And he was like, I just thought cats were really distant and blah blah blah. And I was like, no, not Pearl. She's very spoiled.
Oh,
And so he put her on a routine and on a schedule. And then I would fly her with me when he was in Miami at Jackson. We'd fly from LAX literally first class all the way to Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, and she did fine on the flight. We took her to where somewhere in Florida. The Keys, maybe Florida Keys. She went on a vacation. She would travel with us. Yeah, she enjoyed it. She liked Florida. And then when he moved in, he so I lived in San Diego first, and we weren't
Mhm.
even engaged at the time. And then we got engaged, and then he got a job here. Then he finished residency, moved here, and then we lived together before we ever got married for a long time because there's also COVID too.
Uh,
And then at first, she used to kind of hide her affection for him. Oh no, I can't let mom know. And so she would,
really?
yeah, she would lay next to him and she was super cuddly. But as soon as I came home, she could hear me from the elevator before I even got into the apartment. And she'd jump off of him and like go hide.
No.
Yeah. And then there was one day where we were all laying on the couch watching TV, but she was laying in the middle and she just kind of looked at both of us. And I think she had this moment of, oh, I have like two parents now. I get all the love and all the attention. So now she sleeps with us.
Oh.
Like yeah, it depends on the day who she wants to lay on that day and who she wants to cuddle with, but she's super, I know. When people are like, I don't like cats, I'm like, you like my cat. You haven't met my cat.
Wait,
She's
where
super
are
cute.
the psychotic features since then? Like, when did they start coming out?
It was my husband because then he started spoiling her. And then my father-in-law, who's a retired pilot,
Um,
he decided to he's in retirement, which I guess people do that. They stop working at some point.
yeah.
And he got a 3D printer and he started 3D printing her cat toys. And so she has
Oh,
these little balls that he 3D printed her and this little circle thing. And so he also 3D printed her a feeding bowl that helps with like ergonomics so she can have better posture so she doesn't have to
wow.
crouch down when she eats. And then my husband has her on a strict schedule of when breakfast
Right.
is, when dinner is, and the type of food that we give her. And yeah, so the more attention she got, the more bratty that she got. It just, and then, yeah, and she feeds off my energy. So if I'm really stressed or really high energy, then she's running around the house too. So she feeds off me essentially. So
Who gets more stress, you or your husband? Who shows it more?
me. He's, dude, anesthesia. When have you ever seen a stressed out anesthesiologist? And then I could hear screaming, but then somebody behind me was like, "What's happening? What's happening?" And she's yelling. And then all I hear is, "She's choking. She's choking." And then immediately I get up, right? Because my reflex is to get up. And I look over at my husband and he's just like head in the clouds,
No
like not
way.
even like, he's just like,
Not a thing.
nothing. And so I grab him and I was like, let's go. And so we go around the corner and it was a little girl and she was choking.
Oh my
And
God.
and so I see her and I'm crab crawling towards her because I'm thinking, how am I gonna grab her? And then I don't know even where my husband's at because I'm dragging him. And then this older gentleman, he must have been late 70s, early 80s. He just grabs her and then hits her and she throws a piece of food out and then everyone's clapping and man, this guy reacted faster than we did. And we were sitting down and I'm looking at my husband and I'm like, don't get mad at him. Don't get spicy. Just don't. What were you thinking? And he's, nothing. I was like, da di da. Exactly. That's exactly what it looked like. You were just da di da.
That's that mentality. He's out of the hospital. He's clocked out.
But think
He's
about
enjoying
it,
life.
anesthesia, like when things are like, and
Airway.
everything's like, da, da, da,
Yep.
da, and they're just like, da di da, and you're like, help me.
She was choking, and they are the airway. Yeah, airway specialists right
And
there.
you're like,
Wow.
da, da,
Wow.
da. Yeah. So all the surgeons and I that I'm friends with, we like to make fun of all the anesthesiologists because oh, they're just like, it's too cold, or they're on their phone, or whatever.
They're looking at travel guides to Peru. Yeah, yeah,
Literally, or he's on Reddit sending. He's like, "Did you see this?" And I'm like, "No,
yeah.
I'm at work. What are you doing?"
So wait, he did barbecue and wine, but not you said pizza and wine was your favorite. No,
Oh, we'll go to pizza and wine every once in a while, but it's expensive out here, dude. For like a big like pie of pizza, it's like $80.
why?
San Diego. It's one of the most expensive cities, and it's one of the lowest paying for anesthesia, actually. I don't know about OS, but I think
Wow.
from what Messina said, it's a little bit higher paying than when he was in Manhattan, but
Manhattan
for
is
yeah,
oh, he was in Man. Well, he was like
he was
North.
with
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's like North Jersey. Maybe he was in Manhattan. I don't know if.
I think he
No.
lived in Manhattan.
Yeah. Lived in Manhattan. He probably worked in that North New Jersey. Yeah, the pay not as great as
Yeah,
it is what it is. It'll be all right. It's all about that percentage, right? So
I'm like not as good as Hoboken. I have no idea I have no spatial relation in anywhere in New York.
that's all right. That's all right. The pizza here, let me tell you, I haven't been to San Diego. I don't know what the pizza's like out there. The pizza's pretty good over here. Although I am lactose intolerant, when I ate more pizza, I'll eat it once in a while. I know it's completely heartbreaking. I grew up drinking a gallon of milk every couple of days, working out. Yeah. I love pizza. Could you imagine? Oh, you're not lactose intolerant, right?
No, but I feel like a lot of people are lactose intolerant or gluten free and they don't realize until later. And then they're just, why did I feel
Yeah, that's
so
kind of
awful for, mhm.
mine was after it was like a couple weeks after I took a course of doxycycline antibiotic.
Mhm.
I had sty, and it was interview season in 2020, and I went to the doctor. They gave me doxycycline, and it cleared it up in almost hours.
Uh-huh.
But 2 weeks later, I couldn't drink milk anymore. It was crazy. I was
Huh.
like, what's going on? I was getting stomach aches. So, oh yeah.
That's interesting.
So, hmm.
Your OS interviews, right?
Yeah, this was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I guess 4.5. It was 2020, so 4.5 years ago. Yeah.
Everyone has the craziest interview stories. My husband got poison ivy poisoning because he went hiking with his dad. So his USC medical school interview, he was just swollen and broken out. He's like, "Yeah, I didn't get in." I'm like, "Obviously." They're like, "This dude can't even go hiking without getting infected by poison ivy."
Poison ivy's tough to get rid of that stuff. The cream that you have to put on, you have to goop it on your. Yeah, I had poison ivy before. That's
Really?
tough. Oh, yeah. You've never had poison ivy? No poison ivy in New Mexico.
No, no, we have rattlesnakes, wild hogs, what else?
The hogs,
Roadrunners.
yeah, the wild
Yeah.
hog.
It's so creepy. You're like, driving in the middle of the night and you just see their beady little eyes and then their skin and then they're just darting across. Oh,
Have you ever went hunting for them?
mm-mm.
No.
No,
Okay.
you don't want to eat them. No, they're not like taste. It's not like pork. You don't want to.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no,
Because
no.
I
They're wild.
hunt for wild hogs. I like to keep up the population down. I don't know what the laws are,
Yeah,
but
yeah, they encourage it to keep the population down,
mm,
but you don't want to like eat them.
got it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like the idea of killing things either. I don't. Well, rattlesnakes. Are you? I don't know. I feel like just seeing a rattlesnake, I would get freaked out.
No.
You've seen them in.
Uh-huh. Yeah, especially if you're dog walking. When I had my dog, and then if it's cold, they're just kind of frozen. They're not always ready to attack,
Oh,
but yeah,
okay.
they're there. What else? Oh, so much stuff. Centipedes, millipedes. There's cute stuff like quails and the
All right.
roadrunners. Yeah, there's I went to an ag school, so there's literally cows on campus and sheep and
Wow,
horses. Yeah. It was a agricultural like school.
that's really cool.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever seen on like a campus. That's gotta be. That's
Fun
different.
times.
That's interesting.
It's one of the like largest red campuses in the US just because they have so much like acreage because of like farming and all that stuff.
Oh
So
wow,
it was
wow.
good. It was a normal college experience. Like I did the whole like cheerleading sorority,
The whole 9 yards.
whole nine yards, all the fun stuff before I got thrown into dental school.
Why'd
And
you why'd you move into California for dental? So did you always know you wanted to get over to California to try it out, or?
I did.
Mm, okay.
Everybody that I went to college with, they wanted to go to Texas and like go into Dallas. Like a bunch of the
Mm,
girls went to like Houston and stuff. But I was born in Texas, West Texas, but I knew I'm not a Southern girly. Like California was just always so appealing. The
yeah.
beach and I don't know if you ever saw Laguna Beach. Oh, when I did the podcast with Steven, I was like, Steven, because there's this line in Laguna Beach, but I just always liked California. I didn't ever, not that I didn't care for the East Coast, but it wasn't on
Mm,
my like mind at all. Where else was I going to go? The Midwest, like Colorado. I don't like being
mm,
cold. Like there was no other. It was California. It was always Southern California. But then, because my dad went to Loma Linda, and it's a
mm.
legacy school. So if your parents went there, it's like a
Okay.
USC type of, yeah. So I spend a ton of money on applications and interviews and secondary applications and travel just to
The
go exactly
tuition's
where I was going to go. In hindsight, I'm like, you spent $2,000 for what? To prove that you could get into other schools so people can't be like, oh, your dad got you in or you went there because of your parents. I'm like, people are still going to talk crap no matter what. Like,
they're always gonna talk. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I don't think I would have specialized if I didn't go to Loma Linda because I had a lot of
Mm,
support there.
mm.
The faculty really supported me a lot.
But your
I
dad
think
wanted
it's,
you to do endo.
I know, the one time he's never been like, you should do this. He's just always kind of let me do thing. And then when I was like, hey, I think I want to specialize, he's like, think about endo. I'm like, I don't want to do endo. But now I'm like, I should have done endo.
What? No, no, you don't. Do you mean that? Why?
No,
Just
I
because
think
the
I would
patient?
have had more mental health issues if I would have done endo more. But well, think about it. You're so in your head. If you just do you remember you're just filing and filing away and filing away. Yep. Oh my gosh, I would have I was good at it. But gosh.
You know, you were saying that it is a good business, great profession, great specialty to be in.
Mhm,
But even patients have come up to me and asked me what I thought of root canals. That Netflix documentary that came out, this is like several years ago, right?
mhm,
I that did a number on patients' questionability, like their
mhm.
trust in endodontics, and I'm like, no, it works. Like
Yeah,
then if you get your third root canal, now it might not work, but
right. I
but
know.
that's
I know. I feel for them, but for the most part, they're the spiel that we have to give and the script that we have to give to patients for you to convince somebody to do orthodontic surgery. Like I told you I had BSSO, right? Or no?
no,
Yeah.
you would be into so?
Uh-huh.
Really?
I
Were you
did
class 2 or class 3 or
too.
no way? So you got the
Construction
PSSL,
master.
huh?
BSSO and a genioplasty, a silicone chin implant. I was
Wait, you did in the DM you told me. Yes, yes, that's right.
mhm.
I remember now.
I was 17 or something. I was a kid.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
But for you to tell, I wouldn't have done it if I wasn't forced into doing it. And my dad's like, you need to do this because, like,
Oh,
blah,
he
blah, blah.
in hindsight, you still wouldn't have you don't think you would have
No,
done it?
I'm so glad. I'm so glad. But
Okay,
when you're
okay.
17 and your whole summer is going to be ruined before your senior year because you think it's the end of the world, you're not going to do it, right? So
Oh,
for you to have these discussions with these discussions and conversations with like patients and, it's
yeah.
it's not easy versus for endo it's a little bit easier.
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, you need a root canal." It's like, "Oh, alright, yeah, I guess I need a root canal." Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and then they get in there. If it's fractured, send them back to me. I remove the tooth. We do an implant. It's pretty black and
mm,
white,
mm.
versus yeah, we have a tougher script to give patients. You have to do this because blah blah blah. Are you in pain if you need orthodontic? Probably not. Do you know you have airway issues? Maybe, probably not.
I don't know if I snore. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like my wife says I snore, but
No, I don't know.
mm-mm.
I feel fine. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, I no, I don't wish I would have done endo, but what else did I liked pediatrics. I'm glad I didn't do peds. Towards the end I was between perio and peds, and then I'm glad I didn't do peds.
Really? You
Mhm.
were not gonna do peds. You were thinking about it? What'd your dad say?
My dad didn't say much. It was my mom. My mom said if you want to be a mom and you want to have kids, you shouldn't do peds because you're going to be at work all day seeing kids, and then you're going to have to go home and deal with your own kids, and you're going to be in the worst mood. And then I was
Yeah.
like, huh, that's a good point.
It's a good point.
This is what's for me. And I'm like, I don't know, you just don't seem like pediatric dentist. But yeah, um, for now we're like dinks. We don't want kids. I don't
Yeah.
think we'll have kids. We're happy. So it Yeah.
No
But
kids,
I think
huh?
my mom, no kids, no
Huh.
kids.
I
I'll
feel
be
like, oh,
38 this year. My husband will be 37. He's 1 year younger.
really
Hmm.
preyed on the young
I
med
did.
students, huh?
I was 1 year younger. 1 year younger.
My girlfriend's 1 year older. It's the same thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
It's better that way. She's so much more mature than me. She's smarter than me. She's got a fully remote job for the most part. It's
uh-huh.
great. Oh, I wish
No,
I would.
we're older or younger. Women are more mature. I feel like generally
You wait, more immature?
more mature,
Mature,
generally.
yeah. Oh, 100%. I don't know about younger. I don't know about younger. Older, I definitely agree with that. Younger,
Hmm.
I don't know.
I'll tell you a story before I'm like, yeah, you gotta go to bed. Um,
You're
so
pretty close.
you gotta go to bed. I was in a car accident in 2 weeks into residency. I was crossing the street and I got hit by a SUV.
Oh my God.
And I was on the crosswalk and I actually didn't even apply to Perio. I was gonna do a GPR for a year.
Yeah.
And then somebody dropped out of Perio, and my director kind of knew that I was interested in Perio. And he's like, hey, somebody dropped out. And I was, no, I'm moving to SF. I'm doing a GPR. And he's like, are you slow? You're going to have to reapply next year or apply next year. Just show up. You have an interview in 2 weeks. They set it up with like the dean and everything. And I'm not sure. And I had a house in like Riverside, Loma Linda. And then I was already going to rent out the house. And I was, no, I don't know. And he's like, just show up for the interview. And so I did. And then essentially I had the like position. They
Amazing.
reopened the portal. Yeah. Yeah. So it was awesome. I was wow, I really did like Perio. Like I'm in what I'm supposed to be, right? Like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. But then 2 weeks into the program, I was crossing the street. Some lady, I don't know if she was on her phone or what happened. She was in an SUV and she hit me when I was crossing the street. I don't remember. I don't remember being struck by the vehicle. I don't remember after, like nothing.
Ah.
I was unconscious for 3 days. I was in ICU for 2 weeks, and then I was in the hospital for 2 months.
Oh,
So,
God, 2 months?
into residency. So imagine missing 2 months of residency, and it's a tough program, right? And Perio's at my school, Perio was really literature heavy, and we still had exams and stuff. It wasn't we didn't have tests and all that, so I missed basically the whole quarter of school. But
Did they
so
threaten you at all? Like you'd have to to that redo a
no,
year?
but that's what I was worried about because I was like, I didn't even like really get in, and then I missed a whole quarter. So I was
Mm.
worried about that. From the car accident, I had two temporal hemorrhages and then frontal lobe damage and then a subarachnoid hemorrhage, which
Jesus Christ.
like for and then my
It's
left
hard.
lung,
Yeah.
yeah, my left lung collapsed, my spleen ruptured, like the whole left side of my body was like, so I'm very lucky to be alive. Yeah, I
Yeah.
lost a lot of memory at that time. I couldn't remember for the life of me how to speak Spanish. It just was gone. And that was my first language. I could not remember Spanish at all. Um, so they
Wow.
eased me back into the program part-time. So they let me in part-time and then I did okay. And then I went in full-time and then the next quarter they were like, you're doing really well. So I had to double up PGY1 and PGY2 year. And then right, so that's also why I'm into podcasting and
Subtle compliment though that you're doing really well, and they're like you're gonna have to
yeah.
double.
Yeah, so I'm like, listen, if I did it and I got hit by an SUV, you have no excuse. What's your excuse? You can do it. So I think that's why I went into teaching and lecturing and stuff. So I'm like, you can do it. But from the subarachnoid hemorrhage, my hormones were all out of whack. And so I went into menopause when I was like 26, 27. This was like 10, yeah, a long time ago.
Oh,
And
nice.
that was also when I was like, I should probably date. I shouldn't just totally shut people off and and then that's kind of
Right.
I knew of my husband because his one of his roommates was a dental student. So I knew about this like hot med student or whatever. Yeah. So I met my husband
Oh
and
no.
then he matched to wow. And then he matched to Miami and I was like, well, there goes that one. And then I kind of
Because
wrote him off. Yeah, I kind of wrote it off. And then I started doing egg retrieval because they're like, you can't have kids. And I was like, oh shoot. Like I wanted kids. And then they're like, aren't you dating one of the med students? You should ask him for his sperm. Casually dating. And it's local, it's a religious school. And I was like,
Hey,
we're
by the way,
dating. And yeah, I'm like, we're dating, like not casually. And then they're like, just ask him because the egg they do really lonely on their own. Embryos do better. Just ask him
yeah.
if you can get some of his sperm to do embryos. He's gonna think I'm a psycho. Like, no. And so
So you
I
didn't do
no, I didn't. I did the egg retrieval, but I didn't
it?
ask
Yeah.
him for his sperm. He would have. 2 weeks into dating, what would you do if some girl asked you?
Wait, did you bring this up to him? What did he
He
like in
knows.
high?
Oh, we all laugh about it now. All of our friends, everyone knows because
Does
everyone's like,
he have a comment like what he would he have said? Yeah,
he's
would he have said no?
yeah. He said I would have done it if you would have had me like all the documents lined up to where I wouldn't have to pay child support. I just didn't want to pay child support.
Uh, well, 'cause 2 weeks in, I mean, I don't even know what to think. I don't even know what to think of that. But he said yes. But he said yes.
Yeah, and I'm like, yeah. Now we can laugh because now, oh my gosh, can you imagine? I'm like this psycho. Hey,
You're
by
in a
the
tough
way.
situation though. Like to be fair and be kind, like that was, I mean, that's a once in a life. Jesus Christ, you're very lucky to be, alive. And so I think you could use that to your advantage to be like, look, I
I'm
almost didn't make it out of the hospital. Can I get some sperm?
gonna just pass
What?
you this.
Just past everything.
I'm
Like
gonna just pass
what?
you this little. Yeah, no, we laugh about it now, but yeah, no, no, no. Now after all that, we're just like, we're happy. We like our lives. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
mhm,
happy.
yeah.
And
No,
are
no
they're
kids.
still there? The eggs are still there where
They're still there. They're at Loma Linda. I have a yearly UU site fee. It is $200 because I was a resident, so I got a special deal. So I just got to pay $200 every year.
okay.
They're on ice. Now I kind of got to figure out what to do with them because I'm like, why am I paying a yearly rent if but then to discard just feels so savage, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, this is just my opinion.
Yeah.
Who cares? I mean, look, you're really busy right now with the practice, right? You're building.
Hmm.
Your dream is to open up a second, maybe even a third. You were talking about
Hmm.
back in New Mexico. Maybe you have a little time. I mean, that type of
Yeah.
aspiration, which just from talking with you, I have a feeling you're going to achieve it. I don't know if it's going to be in a couple years or in 10
Right.
years, but after you do that, you might look back and, maybe I want to have a kid. Who knows? Who knows where you're at in 10 years after you've achieved all
Yeah.
these things and it's like, what's next?
Like
See
in
what your
10
parents
years, I'll be
uh,
48.
age is but a number, right? Just
Oh,
like with wine. Come on, you're a
he's
wine
a
fan,
surrogate. Yeah, it's better.
right?
It's fine.
So
Yeah. Yeah. No, for now we'll keep, but they're there.
yeah,
The
yeah,
little oosites, all 22 of them.
22, that's a good number. That's great.
That's when I like my Mexican kicked in. Like I was meant to have kids. You just feel so free because you don't have that pressure and you don't have that clock.
Wow, yeah.
I it was worth everything. It was worth it at that time. It was the surgery was not that bad. It was 2 grand. It's the meds that are expensive. All the medications, it turned out to be $10,000 for the whole process. And they were like, oh, you might have to do 2 rounds. So I was prepared for that, but they got good number of eggs in the beginning. But the stress that it took away from me feeling just not even back then, I was 27 when I did that. So, and
Yeah.
I'll be 38 this year. So it was 10 years ago. And the stress like that it took off everything, I'm just, yeah, like I feel good. I don't regret it. It was one of the best things I ever did for myself. I don't have to stress about it. I don't feel like any decisions are out of haste or urgency. It's so worth it. I really highly recommend. The injections are so minimal. I still traveled. Yeah, I went to go visit my uncle because I there was some soccer game in Phoenix, the World Cup or something was in Phoenix
Sure.
around that time, and I flew with my little medical care kit, all the meds on ice and everything. It was fine. It wasn't, as
You
stressful
did
as
it.
people think.
You're
Yeah.
also a go-getter though. So I mean, the average person, I don't know how easy it would be for them to do that. I mean,
Fine. I tried to go back to class and my actor and my mom's like, "Are you sure?" Because it was like what propofol and something else, like probably propofol and like Versed for the sedation. And then I was like,
oh,
"Mom, take me to class." And she's like, "Are you sure?" And then my attending's like, "Go home," like literally. And I'm
go.
like, "It's fine."
Oh, that's amazing. And, you know, I'm so glad because you are doing the scrubs and scalpel now, and you're doing the podcast. So now you're able to share your wisdom and your experiences and kind of what you
Yeah.
learned through all that, and to empower the others that haven't been through that and don't know what to do with their next steps. I'm so happy
Dude,
that you're doing that. You know?
thank you. I'm like, there's so many of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 I love it. I love it. I'm so glad
Yeah.
we had this
Good.
conversation today.
Yes. Yes. It was good talk. Okay. Fingers
All right.
crossed. All right.
Well, we'll
Bye bye.
chat soon.
Okay. Sounds good. No, I think we got a lot actually, now that I can see it. Okay. Fingers crossed.
All right, dude. Can I? If I hit leave, then
If
it
you hit
will.
leave, you're good. I just have to stand, I think.
You have to stand. Okay, okay. I always mix that up with the. All right. Well,
Okay.
we'll chat soon.
Bye. Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Get some
You
rest.
too.
Okay.